And specifically speaking about portfolio, a lot of designers struggle with that. Like, where do I start? How many case studies should I have? While we have planned another maybe a roundtable or a specific conversation about portfolios, maybe even a YouTube live we should do next time. But very briefly to touch upon, like, how many case studies are ideal? To what details should you flesh it out? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so I have been doing this 30-minute sessions with a lot of designers by opening the calendar up, right? And most of the sessions end up turning into like portfolio reviews, basically. So I've done a lot of these, and I have like some fresh feedback on top of my head about this.
Right.
So basically, what I see is a lot of people put many case studies in their portfolio. They try to show breadth, right? And which is totally fair. I think showing breadth is important, but it's only one of the signals that the recruiters look for. The other even more important signal that recruiters look for is depth. And people don't often optimize for depth as much as they do for breadth. So having 10 projects is great. Having 5 projects with very intense deep dives is much better, right? And you have to do that self-curation and decide which projects do you want to like really dive deep into, where do you have a lot of material and content, and pick at least 2 or 3 of them that actually go into much more depth that you can have a 45 minute to an hour conversation about, right? You should have that level of material for those 2, and not just in your head, right? Like you need to put it out there so that the depth comes across. What Google optimizes for always is not how much work you've done, but how rigorous you are and how in-depth you have gone in whatever you have done. You may have only shipped a certain screen or a single flow in an app, but if you have been really rigorous, probably that's what it takes, right? So that's something that I learned over time, also recruiting and also interviewing for Google, right? Like when I interview on behalf of Google and I look at other portfolios, this is what I look for. So I would say about 5 projects is a really decent portfolio. Having 2 or 3 of them go into really deep dives. And then specifically speaking about individual projects, I really get irritated when I see portfolios that have like a homepage with a lot of projects, but no names on them, and on titles or the titles actually see what the project is about, right? Like just be upfront, right? Like no recruiter has time to go through the interaction of it. Just follow like the same, like nobody's judging you on how your portfolio is. They are judging you on how your case study is, right? So pick a simple theme, have an upfront title, have an upfront 1-line, 2-line description of what the project is about, so that there is enough for me to click on it, right? And then I go into the detail. And it sounds big, right? But not a lot of portfolios I see follow something like this, and do self-curation, right? Like if you have 15 projects, don't put them in a laundry list, right? Like put 3 or 4 of them at the top, which are like, hey, some of my most recent work or some of my most interesting projects, and put the other ones away, right? Like or under a different title, right? Like if there is no curation, I don't know which ones are projects that you are sort of advertising on your behalf, right? On your portfolio. So that level of self-curation does matter a lot. Right. And then speaking about the specific case studies, right? I really like when people actually start with like a clear problem statement at the top, right? In a layman's term, right? What happens is many times people work in domains that are not as sort of obvious to other people who are just passers-by, right? Like the recruiter is a passers-by. They just look at the website. They want to like skim through and get like an idea of what kind of problem you solved. They don't know what banking sector you worked in, what kind of challenges your banking startup faced, right? So write in layman's terms the problem statement, right? So that I can understand, okay, this is the problem you're trying to solve. Fine, I empathize with that. Let me dive deeper, right? The simpler language you use, the better it is, right? And the more block quotes you use, the more block quotes and the more like call out sections you use, they are the only ones that I'm probably going to read as a recruiter, right? Like what I'm looking for is like not to have to read paragraphs to actually know how the story is flowing. Like just give me like the snippets that are enough for me to get the gist of like the entire story. So like use your titles smartly, use your headings smartly, use your block quotes smartly. So like every title should flow into like a story, defining the problem, understanding the context, open questions, conducting research, trying out different variations, user testing, finalizing the mocks, shipping, or collaborating with the eng. These are like all the titles that I love to read, right? Like whenever I see them, it all flows in nicely. When you use obscure titles that are not from the industry or that are not widely used, then I have to. Nobody has time to sit down and make sense of it all, right? Like they only have about 5-10 minutes per portfolio to make a decision about whether this goes through the funnel or not. So in order to like you basically converting, right? Like so you basically converting in that 5 minute window a decision in your favor. So like lay it out like that. And then the other thing about mocks is people like write all kinds of long stories and then don't end up showing the final outcome at all, right? Like why is your story 3.5 folds long, and then the mocks you end up showing are only 3 or 4 visual mocks? Where are the rest of them, right? So the smart way to approach this would be like, if you redesign the whole app, pick a flow, right? Like sure, just lay out the context at the top for the entire app.
Right.
But when you're writing a case study, you probably don't need to write the case study about the entire app. You can just define like all your user journeys that you solved across the app, pick the 1 or 2 of them, go really deep into 1 or 2 of them, right? This is what I did in the Ola case study as well, right? Like the ride booking app or the ride fulfillment app on the driver app. That's like the 80% of what the driver does on the app, right? Any of the other journeys are not as important, right? I mean, they're important, but they're not mission critical. The mission critical is the driver being able to fulfill the ride. So I focus just on that, and the entire page is just on that, right? So that allows me to have a deeper sort of that allows me to go deep on a single flow and show like the depth, right? And then I can have like other flows at the end, but it's all about like showing that depth per flow. So that's one like good way to deal with it, right? Like to deal with really like to address the concerns of like, oh, were you rigorous, were you deep, like did you really go down solving the problem in multiple ways and like land on one? Like you can't do it across like 50 flows that your app is probably going to have. I don't want to see your settings screen, right? Like I don't want to see your profile, I don't want to see your login screens. Like I don't understand why people show login screens, right? Unless login is like the product that you are
right, something innovative you did there, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, these days you don't need to even reinvent any of those flows, right? Like forget password flow. Like I don't want to see those screens. I don't want to see your settings. I don't want to see your account details page, right? Like show me the hero flow, right? Like what is the hero flow in your app? Pick that, go into depth, and that's about it.
Right.
So yeah, these are like some of my observations on portfolios.
Very useful. I think that's going to help a ton of folks because I keep getting these questions as well, and been planning to do live portfolio reviews as well. Maybe that's what we should. And I've spoken about it twice so far on Instagram Live, and people here must be like, he never does it. But it's just been trying to figure out a format. So maybe we should. What I'm going to do is send out a Google form on Twitter and on Instagram, and then ask you to submit portfolios. So maybe me, Hardik, and me and some other designers can get together and do a live portfolio review on YouTube. So